Hey, we're sat here with Lesta and Jake from Florida.
Right.
Introduce yourself. What's your
We're
name?
not from California like everybody always assumes right off the bat. My name is Buddy. I play the trombone.
Ooh, trombone. Sounds good. How are you enjoying Groot?
Band.
The boner of the band. Great, man.
Many a joke can be made with my instrument. It's
I can imagine.
quite a 20 years.
How have you been enjoying Gross Rock so far?
Well, we've only been here since this morning. We played Monster Bash in Germany for the past 2 days, and so we got here for the stinkiest day of the festival. Sunday. It's always, when the
good day.
are overflowing and everybody's been eating festival food for 3 days. Yep. But I got up in time to see the Dopamines on our stage
good.
first, which I was just curious to see if they were going to be as drunk as they normally are when they play, and somehow they managed to be at 11:30.
And are you excited to see anyone play today as well?
Yeah, well, I'm also excited. I wanted to see the Flatliners who are playing right now, but instead I'm doing this lovely interview with you guys.
Good.
But yeah, it's great. Like festivals like this, there's like a bunch of our friends on it now, because we know like after you've been in a band for 20 years, you pretty much know you've toured with everybody, or at least played in like these festivals before. So it's kind of like every corner that I turned this morning, just trying to get to the bathroom was like, hey, what's up?
Because this is your 20th anniversary, right?
Well, actually now it's our 21st anniversary.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we're really piling on the years here. We're allowed to drink now legally.
That's good. And how has it been for you? These 21 years with these guys.
We have about 6 hours to talk about it.
Go for it.
Because I'm not sure if there's a short version of that question, really. It's been a wild up and down, touring in a van, touring in a bus, touring in planes. We're like that movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
And did you see yourself playing in this band for 20 years? 21 years?
What about it?
Did you see yourself playing in this band for that long?
No. Like every year is kind of like, oh, we're still doing this? At this point now, though, I think that we've settled. There was that weird hump. Like after about 5 or 6 years, it's just something you were doing. We were going to be in a band. It was never like, this is what we're going to do for the rest of our lives kind of thing. And then it started shaping into that, though.
What would you think you will be doing when you're not be playing in the band anymore?
After this? Well, now I don't know, because this is all I know now. So I think when the band's over, I'm just going to have to curl up and die somewhere. It's pretty much going to be it for me.
Is there any other profession you can do? Anything you've studied for?
Yeah, I've learned how to do. I've been doing all the video stuff for our band, so I do like a lot of video kind of stuff. But it's hard to videotape while I'm playing, so I always have to get somebody else to film and stuff. But so I could do that, but I don't know about doing that as a profession. Like I've got all these other side hobbies. Like I play other instruments and stuff too, so I could start another band. Or I have a degree in psychology. I could do that, but none of these sound as appealing as being in a band. So I'm going to probably stick with trying to keep this band going as long as possible.
And after that, retire.
Yeah, exactly. I'll retire on my villa in Spain that I don't have or will ever own.
Well, you might at some point.
Yeah.
And playing in this band for that long, how has this affected your personal life?
It's affected all of our personal lives. That is a good question, because it is. The traveling makes it really, really hard to hold on to a relationship. And I was with a girl for like 10 years. We were married, got divorced. Then I was with another girl for 4 years. And it does cause some turmoil. But if you have a pretty solid relationship and there's like trust there, then
that's very important.
But it is just the distance does make it hard. But now that we don't tour quite as much as we used to, it maybe will be a little easier. I now have a girlfriend that I've been with for like 3 years, and things are going great.
And she's loving it, I guess.
Yeah, so
that's good.
I'm definitely home more than I used to be.
So what's the hardest part about like touring and having a girlfriend? Is it like being on tour all the time, or is it like meeting all these other girls on tour?
I think it's mostly just being away from the person. Like if you're actually with the person and you're like in love with them, then like the hardest part is just being away, like the distance. And when we started touring 20 years ago, I actually wrote postcards and sent them in the mail, and like you'd have to like find like the phone booth and like have like a calling card and that whole thing. And so that made it a lot more difficult than, these days, you can pick up, like I could get my phone out right now, find the internet, and like FaceTime my chick right now if I wanted to. And that's like that's like Star Trek from what we were doing originally. So that makes it easier, but it also makes it harder. It's weird, because I was just talking to Raj about this yesterday, and he just had a kid too. So that aspect throws a whole nother wrench in the works, where like you miss your kid and your wife. So, and he said it was like it's even harder when you're just sitting there FaceTime with them, because they're like right there. It's like good to know they're alive and be able to talk to them, but at the same time, it's like they're still so far away. It's
like, how long are you usually away from home when you go on tour?
Well, that's the thing too. Now, like I said, we've only been doing like 2-week spurts at a time because they had the kids, and doing like a 6-week tour though was like a whole nother world. Or the longest I think we ever did was 9 weeks, and that was just long. And you go out for 9 weeks, but then we would come home for maybe 3, and then go out again for a month. So it was like constantly being gone, and then you have to like fly them out and do stuff like that too to make it to make it survive. Otherwise, like if you just don't see someone for 9 weeks, you're out of the mix.
Yeah, that's hard. That's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
How do you stay loyal to your, your fans that you have had from the start, as well as no,
Like an Oprah interview.
no, as well as gain a new fan base and stay loyal to your new fans as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you have to just go into that without really thinking of, like, worrying about that. Like, whenever we go to, like, make a new record, if that's what you're talking about, like the style of music, we just go in and, like, we do what we're feeling. You can't really take any of that into consideration. You have to be like, okay, we have to make these sound like our old songs, but we can't make it sound too new. Or, you can't really think about it. Like, with music, you just have to, like, play the music from your heart and what you're trying to, like, what you're doing, and then it just comes out. And then if your old fans like it still, then that's good. And if you make new fans, that's good too.
And are you bringing
You can't,
out?
like, let the fans dictate what you're gonna write as a musician. That's when you start to, like, play head games and, like, it becomes too complicated of a thing, and then you stop just doing it from what you're doing anyway, or how you started.
And are you planning on bringing out any new records like soon? Or are you working on one?
We're actually working on a record right now. We're pretty much finished writing it. We're tying up loose ends out here on this 2-week European run. But as soon as we get home, we're starting to record. We're recording at Roger's house, and it's a full 15-song record.
What does it sound like? Is it a new kind of sound, or is it still?
It's fusion jazz rock. No, it's
Sounds exciting. Tell us about it.
It sounds just like all of our other stuff, pretty much.
Sounds exciting though, and
I mean, it is new. It's more. The last record that we put out was actually a combination of 2 EPs that we had done. So they were each 5-song EPs that we kind of threw together and did really fast, and then put that together. So this feels more like a record. We actually spent a lot more time, like sussing out the songs and
how's the recording process going up to now?
well, we haven't actually started yet. We pushed record
started
back,
yet?
yeah.
Okay.
Unless you count like me doing it with my phone at the warehouse to like write demos. So and like we do kind of like get the songs ideas and then we record some like versions. Do some versions of it and then like so we can all work on it separately because that's how like we'll come up with the horn parts at my house after sometimes and so it is quite a process.
And up to now, what has been the biggest achievement you have had as a band? And the
Doing-
biggest downer as well.
Doing this interview at Gross Rock with you right now is the biggest downer. Oh no, just
Oh,
achievement.
I'm gonna walk away
We
now.
finally made it.
You're finally on Bstage magazine.
That's right.
And this is your second time you're playing Gross Rock because you played in 2006.
Not even.
Really?
We definitely did it in 2006 because it was my birthday then.
Oh.
And it's my birthday now.
Today?
At midnight.
Ooh, well, happy birthday then. Congratulations.
The last time was probably the drunkest I've ever gotten.
Why is that?
Me first and the Gimme Gimmes were here, and I was eating dinner with Fat Mike, and he gave me some pill that I didn't know what it was. Then I drank, like there was a glass like this on our bus I didn't know we had, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna make, but it was a vodka drink, so I had that before we played. Then during the Gimme Gimmes, I drank another one of those, and then JR was on the other side of the stage with a bottle of wine, so he filled me up after that. And then our drummer, Vinny, had gotten me a bottle of absinthe. Like, you know what that is?
You space. I was like, you're flying. It's like 90%.
Fairy dust came and sprinkled me. But we were doing it the real way, too. You, like, heat up a spoon and, like, pour sugar over it. And it's almost like you're doing
Sounds crazy.
It got really surreal. So by the end of the night, it was one of those blackout nights. Kent, the tour manager for Less Than Jake and stuff, he was in that Backstage Passport. This is when he was still drinking, too. And he was on our bus like, I don't want this night to ever end. And he reached back and broke the clock behind on the wall so the time would stop. So that was my birthday last time. So we'll see how that rolls this time.
Yeah, so how are you going to celebrate tonight?
I'll probably just put on a diaper and go to bed early.
That's it. Are you that old?
Yeah, I'm getting a little older. That was, 2006? Is 7 years ago?
How old are you going to get?
I'm going to be 464 tonight.
44?
4,060. I don't know. I don't even know how old I am anymore. My birth certificate said something that I didn't believe, so.
Oh, really? All right. Do you?
I'm going to go
Because
when I'm 30.
all right, but I mean, you're a bit older than like most of the bands out here on the festival. How do?
Actually, though, this is good because like Bad Religion's out here and they're a little older than us, and but yeah, then I think maybe we're next on the list. Who else?
What?
We're old. Yeah.
Well, Sam.I.Am is also pretty old.
Oh yeah, Sam. We just toured with them too. Oh, and Flag. That's like people from the Descendants and Black Flag, and they're definitely older than us.
But what does it feel like to be touring with all these younger bands around you? Can you still keep up with them?
It makes you feel old, yeah. I have to wear a knee brace now, and I have to. I still shave every day because I play trombone, but I'm also shaving just so that I look a little younger. Because like everyone has a beard now these days, and they're trying to look older or something. But they're like 22 and they look like they're in their 40s. So I'm doing my best to go the other way.
And How do you light left. How do you feel the music scene has changed, since you first started off as a band?
Wow. Let me count the ways. It's changed a lot, though. I mean, there's so many aspects of how it's changed. I don't know where to start. But the technology side of it changed completely in the sense that it's more global now, which is kind of cool because you can pretty much, just look up any band in China and see what that sounds like. Whereas the first tour we did, we were sending out actual demo tapes, like to clubs to try and book a gig. And
how has this affected you, to change the whole music industry?
Well, for us it was okay because we got our foothold in it early, and we had to work really hard back then, like I was saying, because we had to just to get a gig, you had to send out all this stuff and then hope that people were there when you showed up, because promotion wasn't just putting your tour dates up on Facebook. You had to really try to hope that the club put up flyers, and fanzines were a whole thing back then that were actual printed things that people stole copies at Target Copy and stuff like that to make their magazines. And now everybody has an online zine, and everyone's a blogger, and so I mean
blogs, yeah.
There's definitely a lot more critics and a lot more bands, but it's a little good. And
You're balancing it out.
Yeah.
Right, and
You just have to ride with the wave. If you're an older band like us that started out that way, you can't cling to your analog roots and be oh, I'm not going to embrace the news. You still have to embrace all the new things that come along, but you also have to teach these little kids that it wasn't always this easy, that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
of course. And funny question, tell me something embarrassing about yourself.
Wow.
You must know something.
Well, this cut on my forehead is from trying to go down the stairs of the bus while carrying 2 beers, and also I feel like I had something else in my hand. And I thought I was going to be able to make it happen, but now that I'm old, I slipped and fell and just hit my head on the door. That's not that embarrassing, though. I could have come up with something better, maybe.
And if you were a Disney princess, who would you be? And why?
I was a Disney princess. Not sure I know that, man. There's Princess Mononoke. Was that Disney? Mononoke?
Don't think so.
No. Damn. Because that's actually a really good, that's the same person that did Spirited Away. Let's see. Was Ariel a princess?
Yep.
She was, wasn't she? Okay. I like being underwater sometimes. Although I'm scared as a human to be underwater, though, because
why is this?
I went snorkeling off of a reef. Is the farthest I've never actually gone scuba diving. But there was a school of barracuda came up, and they looked at me and they were just like, "What are you doing in here, you stupid monkey?" It was obvious that I was flailing around "Oh, I'm not supposed to be in here. This is not good." They were super sleek, and then they looked at me weird, and then they just took off, and you couldn't see them again. I was like, "Whoa, that's scary."
So you got a bit scared then?
Yeah, I'm a little scared of the undersea. Okay. But if I was Princess Ariel,
you wouldn't be.
I wouldn't need
You'd
to
have
be
a
scared
tail
anymore. That's right.
And what's the craziest thing a fan has ever done for you?
We get crazy fan food sometimes. Fan
food?
Weird, because you never know whether you should eat it or not. Because it could be super sketchy serial killer fan that just poisoned it. But sometimes you get it, you or they sit there in front of you and make sure you eat it. And so then it's really crazy. Yeah. You have to get a king's taster, the royal tester.
Crazy.
So, they would die instead of us.
Right, we got a funny part of the interview now. Okay. It's a game. She's going to take over from here.
I thought the rest of this was fun.
Great. Well, this is going to be a small game. It's called the quick round. You basically have to choose really quickly between 2 options.
I had my coffee.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start right now. Daylight or moonlight?
Daylight.
Romantic date or one-night stand?
Romantic date.
Energy drink or coffee?
Coffee.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Billy Talent or the Used?
Wait, what was it?
Billy Talent or the Used?
The Used.
Modern rock.
I'm friends with them. I know Bert.
Modern rock or old school rock?
Old school rock.
Camping or hotel?
I'm old now. Hotel.
Beach or mountains?
That one's a rough one. Beach.
Coca-Cola or Pepsi?
Coke.
Skiing or sunbathing?
Water skiing or snow skiing?
Well, snow skiing. Snow skiing.
Yeah, so it's opposites. God, that's a rough one too, man. Yeah, I'm old again though too. Well, if it was snowboarding instead of snow skiing, I'll go with that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's okay. Yeah. Cocktails or beer?
Depends on the time of day. Cocktail.
Supporting. Well, you're already a big band. Never mind. We're not gonna do this one. Sex on the beach or sex in an elevator?
Ooh. Sex on the beach, even though it's a little gritty. You get sand in some places that you just don't want them.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
You've heard?
Yeah. Babies or teenagers?
Oof, God, teenagers are little bastards. Teenagers.
A Brazilian or Atlantic strip?
I want to know who cries more, teenagers or babies, though.
I'm not sure.
Teenagers cry Cry a lot, especially these days. Everybody's complaining all the time. Yeah.
Teenage-
Wah, wah. That's the same thing as crying to me.
Yeah. There's just they're whining. A Brazilian or Atlantic trip?
For myself,
Girl.
For your girlfriend.
Brazilian, I guess.
Shirts or skirts or shorts?
Skirt.
A portrait tattoo or tribal?
I'm actually like the only guy in punk rock with no tattoos. So a portrait tattoo. That's like a person's face. Yeah, I'd go with that. Try the tribal tattoos. Kind of played out.
Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
But there was no winner.
Yeah, well, you're the winner.
I just proved how old I am with some of those answers.
Well, it's the game that you have to play. You have to play really fast. That's the thing.
Exactly. I was trying to go fast, but some I had to think. It was, some of those toss-ups were hard.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes I like both or neither.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. It was great interviewing you. Yay.
I am the winner.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.